Hello, my wonderful storytellers, and a massive welcome back to the English Speaking and Listening Club. I am so thrilled to see you all here today. I want to start with a question. Think back to when you were a child. How did you learn about the world, about right and wrong, about new ideas? For most of us, it wasn't through textbooks and grammar drills. It was through stories. The bedtime stories our parents read to us, the fairy tales we heard, the adventures we imagined. Stories are the natural language of the human mind. They are how we are wired to learn. And today, my friends, we are going to harness that incredible power. We are going to explore how learning English through stories can be the most enjoyable, effective, and transformative method you will ever use. So, if you're tired of boring vocabulary lists and feel disconnected from the living, breathing English language, you have come to the right place. Get ready to fall in love with English all over again through the magic of stories. Let me tell you a story about a club member named Ben. Ben had been studying English for years. He knew all the irregular verbs, but he couldn't hold a conversation about his favorite movie. He could define complex words, but he never used them. He was stuck. He came to one of our live sessions feeling frustrated. I asked him, "Ben, what do you love? What are you passionate about?" He told me he loved science fiction. I didn't give him a grammar book. I gave him a very short, simple science fiction story. It was about a lonely astronaut on a space station. The language was clear, but the story was gripping. Ben read it. Then he listened to me read it aloud on our club podcast. He was so curious about what happened to the astronaut that he didn't even realize he was learning. He looked up words not because he had to, but because he wanted to understand the plot. He listened to the audio again and again, not for practice, but to hear the next part of the story. After a few weeks, something changed. During a conversation about technology, Ben didn't just say, "The future will be different." He said, "I think our future might be like that story, full of surprises and new discoveries." He used the word discoveries naturally, in context because it was a word his astronaut had used. The story had given him a context, a memory, and an emotion attached to that word. It was no longer just a word on a list. It was a part of a world he had visited in his mind. Ben's fluency didn't just improve. It came to life. So why are stories such a powerful tool for learning English? It all comes down to the way our brains are built. Our brains are not designed to remember isolated facts for very long, but they are incredible at remembering stories. When you hear a story, your brain doesn't just light up the language centers. It also activates the sensory and emotional centers. If you hear a story about someone drinking a hot coffee, the part of your brain that processes taste and warmth can light up. If you hear about someone running from danger, your own pulse might quicken slightly. You are not just a passive listener. You are living the experience inside your head. This is called neural coupling. For language learning, this is a superpower. When you learn the word thunderstorm from a list, it's just a word. But when you learn it from a story where a character is caught in a terrifying thunderstorm, hiding under a tree as the lightning flashes, you remember the word forever. You remember the context, the feeling, the sound. The grammar and vocabulary are woven into the fabric of the narrative, so you learn how the language is actually used to communicate ideas and emotions, not just rules. Stories provide what I call guessing power. Even if you don't understand every single word, the context of the story helps you guess the meaning. This is a critical real-world skill that you don't get from textbooks. Now, I want to give you a practical step-by-step method for using stories effectively. I call it the layered learning approach. You will engage with the same story multiple times in different ways to maximize your learning. Step 1. Find your story. The Goldilocks Principle. The story must be interesting to you. If you love romance, find a romance story. If you love mysteries, find a mystery. But it also must be at the right level. It should be what we call comprehensible input. You should understand about 70–80% of it. If there are more than 10 new words on a single page, it's probably too difficult. Start with graded readers or short stories written for learners. Our club provides many of these in the description below. Step 2. The silent read. Focus on meaning. First, read the story silently. Don't stop for every new word. Just try to understand the main idea. Who are the characters? What is the main problem? What happens? Enjoy the story as a story first. Let your curiosity guide you. Step 3. The deep dive. Focus on language. Now read the story again, but this time, have a notebook and pen ready. This is your detective work. Underline or write down new words and phrases. But don't just translate them. Try to guess the meaning from the context first. Then look it up in an English dictionary. Write down a simple English definition and an example sentence. This builds your ability to think in English. Step 4. The listening immersion. Focus on sound. This is the most important step for our speaking and listening club. Now find an audio version of the story. This could be a podcast episode from our club or any other source. Listen to the story. Close your eyes. Pay attention to the pronunciation, the rhythm, the emotion in the speaker's voice. Where do they pause? Where does their voice go up or down? Listen to the same part multiple times. This is how you train your ear and absorb the music of the language. Step 5. The shadowing practice. Focus on speaking. Now it's your turn to speak. Play the audio again, but this time pause after each sentence and try to be the speaker's echo. Repeat what they just said, trying to copy their pronunciation, their speed, and their feeling. This might feel strange at first, but it is the absolute best way to improve your pronunciation, fluency, and intonation. You are practicing the physical act of speaking English with a perfect model. Step 6. The retelling. Focus on production. Finally, close the book and turn off the audio. Now try to tell the story in your own words. You can do this out loud to yourself, or you can even record a short voice message for our club's community forum. It doesn't have to be perfect. Start with simple sentences. First, there was an astronaut. He was alone. Then he heard a strange sound. This forces you to use the new vocabulary and grammar structures actively, which is the final step in moving words from your passive memory to your active speaking vocabulary. My dear club members, learning through stories is a journey, not a sprint. It's about enjoying the process. It's about getting lost in a good tale and realizing, when you come out the other side, that your English has improved without the pain of traditional study. You are building a rich mental library of contexts, emotions, and phrases that will naturally flow out when you speak. I want to leave you with a challenge. I want you to choose one short story this week, just one. It can be from our club's resources or anywhere you like, and I want you to go through these 6 steps with it. I promise you the depth of learning you will experience from that one story will be greater than skimming 10 articles or memorizing 100 flashcards. If you're ready to embark on this beautiful journey of learning English through stories, let me know in the comments with the word "con story." And if you want to get a new story and guided audio lesson from us every week, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an adventure. Thank you for being the most important part of this club. Now go find a story, get comfortable, and let's learn English the way our brains love best. Happy learning!